In the mainstream news in the last few days, so sort of interesting announcement that or kind of realization that what's been coming for a long time tipped over the edge in the first half of this year. Renewable energy accounted for the majority share of global electricity production for the first time, overtaking coal, which is interesting. Obviously, there's some subtle nuances to that by region and by technology type and things like that, but it's a good reason why we're having this conversation at the moment, looking at the impact of that across different areas.
And by 2035, so in a decade's time, over half of electricity globally will come from renewables. And particularly as well, we'll be looking more at rates of, say, 75, 80% in Europe. So we will see significant portions coming as we see the decline of coal and a different role for gas.
So we know that batteries are not just a backup option, they are becoming essential for making power grids more flexible. They are helping services like regulating voltage, supporting transmission. They are basically easing the whole congestion in the grid. So batteries right now are the key, and they are essential to building a smarter and more reliable infrastructure.
Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about are what we call grid enhancing technologies, which is a term that I would say has definitely gained traction in the last sort of 3-4 years. And this is essentially coming on the premise of it will be difficult to expand the grid to the extent that we would really ideally like to. So we all know that building huge, capitally intensive, disruptive projects is not always going to be possible, or is going to take us a long time. We're going to have public opposition. If you think of the situation in Germany with getting excess wind and solar power from the north down to the south, that has been extremely challenging because the areas it runs through in Germany is just one example of everywhere else. So these kind of technologies, their fundamental thing really is about improving the existing assets on the grid. So dynamic line ratings is really about using sensor technology that can actually improve the transmission capacity. Power flow controls is about redirecting power away from congested lines into other areas. And topology optimization, which is a similar sort of offering, is essentially software-driven solutions that can basically reconfigure the entire grid. Virtual power plants, we expect this to be a $6 billion market by 2030. A virtual power plant is essentially a way of aggregating a number of disparate energy resources into one major system, which can then be used to balance the grid and to manage the power flows in different areas. And certainly this is continuing to grow. It's starting almost to involve being part of other solution offerings in some cases, rather than being its own distinct offering. It's an area where a lot of the storage companies have gone in. But this will be more and more important, particularly as we electrify more of our industry, more of our commercial operations, and even we electrify things like cars. This will become more significant going forward. There will be more capacity that we can utilize in a virtual power plant.
The reason that why they are also using in this segment is because it's the best way of testing the systems without giving full access to the entire plant. And that's why some of them are specifically testing in report generation recommendations to engines, rather than giving them access to the whole process of how they manufacture engines and this kind of thing, especially the companies that are not generating their own models, their own AIs, that are using other companies' AI or other system services providing AI. Is a secure way of testing the system, and it doesn't require the same kind of investment that if you're generating your own AI and using it for the entire company, the entire OEM models and these kind of things. So that's why we are seeing that this first part is kind of the first wave of these companies using AI.
I really think it's the car, personally. I think it's the deployment of electric vehicles, because I really think, although it won't crazily drive the electricity demand up as much as some people think, because of all this technology we can deploy because of it. I think it will give us sizable assets to change the pattern within the energy system we have. So I think obviously backed by the technology, but I really think the vehicle to grid is the one I would pick.
It's not there yet, but I think ultra long duration storage will be key in the future. I mean, we didn't need it. If we increase the renewable part of the mix and we keep using more renewable and adding more renewable into the grid, we will need ultra long storage. No, it won't be enough when the one that we have right now. We'll need more than 24 hours of storage in each of the systems.